Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iroquois Park Sports Center here in Whitby, Ontario, the site once again of the Ontario Lacrosse Festival and game number 2 of this Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final series. It was Whitby taking game number 1, 11-7 last night in Pickering, and tonight, if they do win here, they will capture the Iroquois Trophy. Beaches trying to prevent that from happening. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Jonathan Donville. Pat Gregoire is down floor side. We'll get to him as this game rolls on. What a playoffs we've had, and this should cap it right off here with the Ontario Finals.
It's been an awesome summer. It's great to have had a full season back, see these teams playing in the traditional barns. And, you know, these Whitby players have been dreaming about doing this exact thing, winning this trophy in front of these fans on this floor their whole lives. Beaches players have been dreaming about the same thing, just not here, right? They're trying to spoil the party, and Whitby's looking forward to a celebration here.
Absolutely. They're wearing their home whites and going right to left away from Caleb Martin, who has played the last 3 games after going back and forth between him and Liam Wright. But it is the Beaches in their navy uniforms with the yellow numbers going left to right away from Will Johnston. The first save made by Martin out to the outside boards.
Obviously, a fast start important for both teams here, but I think it's more important for Beaches in this one. Whitby's going to come out fired up. They know what's in front of them. Beaches cannot get smoked and get shell-shocked here in the early start of the game.
There's an outside shot that bounces off the end boards. Brock Haley held to a goal and 2 assists last night as the first offensive possession for Matthew Accioni and the Beaches comes back down to our right. Matthew Collison puts it back up top, looking there for a Hickey. Collison will go back into the corner on the far side. Only changes to the lineup. David Anderson slots in, but there's Willem Firth to get the first one of the game for the Beaches.
Firth is an awesome off-ball player, and you're going to see that on this goal. Comes around a little screen here. He usually likes to get the ball from the righty side. He's often on that lefty wing. This is just a slick cut to keep going, and a good look through by Collison, and Firth all the way on the other side of the floor. Uses a twister to get his angle back and finish it. That's a big start, like I just said, for Beaches, who need to come out here and set a tone and make sure this thing doesn't get away from them against a very, very hungry Whitby team.
It was a close game last night. Beaches actually led the majority of that game until a 6-1 third period powered Whitby to that game 1 win. Here's Adam Patras. Ball over to Brock Haley. Cuts back, drags it, and scores! Like he's done all season. Brock Haley to the back of the net once again.
This is the problem for Haley, right? I think Beaches did a good job at the start of this play, getting out on playing the ball right here. They step up, take away the outside shot. You have to do that on Haley, but the aggressiveness bites him here, and he just goes right around his guy, gets to the goal, gets across the crease, like I talk about every game. Get across the goal, take the angle where you can get it, and makes a nice finish. But it's a pick your poison with Haley. You got to take away the outside shots, but if you take it away, he's going to get to the rack.
So Brock Haley and Willem Firth getting things started offensively here. Who else would it be with these two teams facing off against each other?
Yeah, really for both teams, you have 2 big scorers. It's Poitras and Haley for Whitby, Firth and Anderson for Beaches, who have been by far the leading scorers throughout the playoffs. Big thing to watch for. Those guys are going to get their goals, as you've already seen tonight. Big thing to watch for. Who else on either team is going to score? It's been Little John a lot throughout these last recent games in the playoffs. Who else on these teams can step up and score?
Well, there is an I love you Little John sign on the other side. We'll see if that powers him on the offensive side. Meanwhile, as we said, David Anderson slotting back in for Zach Miller, the only change from last night. No changes to the lineup for Whitby. And yes, pretty much everybody you'd expect to be in the lineup for these two teams are playing, contrary to the many coaches and GMs in the YouTube chat that had in favor of resting a number of players here in the Ontario Finals.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's an argument every year, I suppose, but I think this year different with a long break coming after this, right? Minto's not for a few weeks as we're going to break here for the World Games. So you got a lot of time to rest after this. That'll play into the decision-making.
Matthew Collison on the run, the shot from up top, and Jonathan, not to open any old wounds for you, but I know you know firsthand what kind of resting and pulling back in the Ontario finals means when your team gets to the Minto.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a team-by-team decision, something you got to weigh, momentum versus you got to make sure your guys are healthy, right? If you lose guys, there's no point. But again, with the long break after this series, I think you'll see teams be a little bit more aggressive than they might be otherwise.
Reason for that break, the Under-21 World Championships happening in Ireland coming up later this month. Big defensive stand back the other way, stole the ball from Parker Pfeiffer. That turns into a shot from Willem Firth, and a rebound controlled. Firth gets it back again, and no shot there as they stepped up to take it away. Beach is back looking out of the corner. There's an errant stick down on the floor on that far side as it's worked back to Jacob Hickey. Pass does now go over to Josh Ferry. Ball bouncing around. Firth will get it back late in the shot clock. Just takes it in on Martin, who's going to stand his ground. And really off the back of that Game 5 win against Orangeville, where Martin was so strong, he's really settled in and taken this #1 job.
Yeah, and that's a relief for Whitby fans, right? It's a nice luxury to have two goalies that you can go to when things aren't going well. But it's even nicer just to have one guy in there who's playing well.
There is Littlejohn crashing through the crease, and big collision on the far side. It's going to be Whitby that's there to recover. Gabriel Soroketti bringing it down. Tristan Dempers. Cross floor here out of the stick of Riley Knox. Still having trouble with it is Knox. Now finds Dempers up top. Soroketti. Couple big head fakes before coming back to Parker Pfeiffer near side. He'll work around a screen. Was looking for the cutting Jake Darlison there. That ball bounces free. 1-1 through the first 5 minutes here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. Good seats still available if you're in the area. Don't know if there's parking spaces available, but we got a seat saved for you if you got time to get down here.
Nice pick set there by Greg Palmer. Gets Anderson a wide open look. He's been red hot throughout these whole playoffs. Been scoring at a really elite level. Hasn't missed many of those. Whitby's going to want to obviously tighten up on him.
Collison over a high screen on the far side. Cutting back underneath. There was Hickey. Looked like Collison was looking for someone on the near side and couldn't get it through. Owen Tapper now.
I was thinking we were going to see a lot of that from Whitby. Beach is a team that swings the ball so well, relies on ball movement. Whitby has a veteran athletic defense. I was thinking we'll see them pressure the ball a lot. You saw that time from Hanser. And I think that's a good strategy for them. Get out, play the ball, use their athletes on the back end.
Low pass shot from Budway there, bounced wide as Patras was involved over on the far side. Cameron Accioni. Excuse me, that's Taylor Dooley, the other grad, 17, not the 7. Finding it back for Firth. Chop in the middle, looked like it went unnoticed there, and now a return shot. That draws the attention of Brandon Hessen, him, Blair Ferguson, and Jeremy Bailey. 3 of the 4 Ontario officials that will go to the Minto Cup along with these 2 teams. Here's Little John trying to sneak it through the foot there of Will Johnston.
I like Whitby there, just playing through the possession. That was a 3-on-3 when they started playing offense there. Ended up getting a pretty good look out of it. You don't want to be reckless in those situations, but I like them testing early, looking for some easy goals. Again, you see Whitby out here playing the ball, be athletes, trying to make it hard to swing the ball.
Greg Palmer tries to do that, and it ended up falling on the far side, and then Palmer went through the crease before that shot could be taken right at the tail end of the shot clock. Darlison over the restraining line. Cross for Knox. Knox works through a screen. Goes back outside here for Patras. Patras for Haley, rips that shot, and that didn't miss the outside post by much. Quick restart coming off the Beach's bench, and we're past the 5-minute mark, so I thought we were getting a goalie water break, but not a chance to get Pat Gregoire in on the action. Should have sold him a ticket tonight down there on the bench. Look
What a
out
move.
here. Numbers for Whitby as they come in 2-on-1. Low shot from Michael White, however, bounces wide, and then White gets taken hard into the outside boards.
Good hustle by Cam Accioni getting back there, making it hard for White. Still got a good look, but probably not the 2-on-1 that Whitby thought they had.
Matthew Accioni. Number of graduating players playing in this game for both sides. As the shot comes from outside, down low. That was David Anderson again, slotting back into the lineup, and how he has turned it on here in the playoffs. Bouncing ball, recovered by Patras. Looked like he had the corner, but just shot wide. Johnson got a piece of it as they reset the shot clock.
Yeah, I thought that thing was in. We've seen Poitras go to the twister a lot in those situations.
And now Haley finds iron, and then the rebound skipping away from Little John as he saw a wide open net and shot without the ball. Patras and Whitby pouring it on, but then he overruns the rebound, and this is going to turn into a break the other way. Coming back is Chris Harlan into the crease, and looked like he got a piece of Martin there.
Good hustle from Harlan. I think he might have run himself out of real estate, though. Was trying, I think, to get ahead of Little John, get in on a breakaway. Almost made it too hard on himself to make a move.
Little John now heading off after going back and up and down the floor a few times. Dempers for Pfeiffer. Parker Pfeiffer rolls over the top. Takes a hit after passing to the far side. Ball got through, I think, and brought down by the Beaches. Behind the back pass, all the way up here, trying to beat the 8 count. Ferry's got to hurry. Does just that and gets it down. Onto the crease they go. And in the crease was Alex Gaston. Back the other way, Whitby. Darlison, what a move and what a save from Johnson with the right arm.
Darlison's been a good player for Whitby all series long and all playoffs long. One of those guys who can really use his speed and get up and really play offense at a high level.
Midway point of the first period. Here's Collison. Up top through Firth, now the far side. Cameron Accioni in the corner, back for Hickey up top, and his shot was blocked.
Better set, though, by Beaches there. They had a lot of 1 and 2 pass possessions. That was a better set. Get it down to the corners where they like to operate from, and a good look inside. They didn't connect, but good offense there from the Blue.
Parker Pfeiffer finds a man off the bench. It's Soroketti sidestepping. Patras a ton of space right in front of Johnston. Got the shot away, and now Liam McKay trying to bust through traffic. Shovels it towards the timeline as they were deep in the 8 count. Budway took an awkward hit. Looks to be okay as he gets up. And Soroketti will find Patras on the far side.
Yeah, good call by you, partner, but really nice save by Johnson. How many times have we seen Patras get that twister to the short side, especially in those unsettled situations? That's a big save.
And another one now on Budway. And another offensive rebound here for Whitby. This is becoming a story here early in the first. Pfeiffer to the crease, and in the crease, says Hessen. A little bit of extra attention being paid now with goaltenders getting up close and personal with their attackmen.
Yeah, great defense there by Phoenix Lefebvre at the end of the shot clock. A tired player has been on the floor for at least a minute, bears down and plays good defense on Parker Pfeiffer as one of the leading scorers for this Whitby side.
Big pile up down in the corner, and I know, Pat, you've talked about the number of French players that are coming out of Quebec and now coming into the Ontario Junior League throughout the season. Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre, one of those players.
Nathan Pouliot, as well, as you guys have mentioned on the broadcast a couple times, another Quebec-born player.
Well, Brock Haley has had enough of us talking about other players as he puts one behind Johnson for his second of the game.
No surprise here, given that he scored 74 goals during the regular season and had a whole pile more. But, man, Haley is relentless in terms of shooting the ball. He just looking every possession to score, gets himself a little bit more to the middle than his sweet spot. Usually likes to shoot a little bit earlier than that and then rips it back short side. I mean, the kid's just picking all four corners right now. Goalies are guessing, and again, he's just a relentless shooter.
Opens up the screen too. Look at the pick from Dempers coming all the way across floor. Pat's got something from down floor side.
Haley with 2 goals here, and we obviously know the offensive firepower that this Whitby team has. Talking to Riley O'Connor before the game, Matt, he mentioned that last night the big difference maker in that third period was their best players came out to play, and he challenged his top players to come out. We saw Firth with 1 goal already. We'll see if any of those other players can come up here down the stretch.
Yeah, a great call by you, Pat. One difference, though, just as a kind of an outsider from the teams, is Whitby's 2 best players are 21-year-old guys who've been in college for a few years. Willem Firth's going back to high school next year, right? It's a big difference at this time of year. People say it all the time, but it's true. The playoffs are a war of attrition. These guys are gassed, and these games are as physical as they get. Age makes a difference, and you might see that playing a bigger role here as things goes on.
Well, and I think you bring up a good point, Jonathan, that this is going to be a much more extended break, especially for Ontario as that shot goes through. The finals are ongoing in BC. They're going to run through that U20 tournament out in Ireland, which starts, I believe, on August the 10th. If they get that far, the final 3 games of that BC series are going to be running at the same time. So we'll see if the break is good for these Ontario teams to get healthy and get rested, or if there might be some rust that needs to be knocked off once we get to the Minto Cup, which, by the way, starts August the 22nd through the 29th at the CAA Center in Brampton. Tickets are available at themintocup.com, including a $100 full tournament pass, including the full final series. Dempers will put it to the corner. Rare drop there for Soroketti. Late in the shot clock now of Whitby, trying to find Budway back near side. That bounces away in the corner. Budway had to hurry and rushed it a little too much as it's brought down here by Jackson Raposo. Raposo still with it. Now it's dropped free, but it took 2 Whitby players to do it. And Raposo takes an off-ball chop for good measure after the Beaches were re-awarded possession.
I love the hustle there for Raposo. You could tell as soon as he picked the ball up that he was going. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive, though.
Huge jump shot there from David Anderson. Pat, as you said, he does not score ugly goals. As David Anderson, that one was about to be vicious from the outside. The Let's Go Whitby chant starting here again. Parker Pfeiffer back and forth, pinballing all around pair of defenders as the second man came in to help out. That popped the ball free. And look out here at center, could be a huge collision. Dylan Robinson did absorb the hit and got rid of the ball. He comes back near that over impact line. Hickey for Firth. Willem Firth spinning around outside, and Anderson another shot. This one bounces wide of the mark and does go for the over and back violation. Patty.
One note, I know the Beaches don't come up with a goal there, but that was Jacob Hickey making that slide. That's one of your top forwards going back on defense, making a great defensive play and pushing up in transition. That's just the sacrifice plays that some of your forwards make on both sides of the ball this late in the season.
There's a shot from Patras that forces Will Johnson into another save, and kind of trying to find the word, characteristic, I guess, of both of these teams as Patras goes back to work again, spins back and scores. How about that goal? Facing a pair of defenders for the captain.
Yeah, I believe Patras is the only lefty on the floor here, so it's a 1-4 overload set here for Whitby. So you'll see how much space he has. That's because there's 4 righties. And he is just so slick at getting underneath in these situations. I mentioned it on previous broadcasts. I've seen this for myself in college this year. We played against him, and he scored on almost this exact move twice on us this year. He's just so slick at faking like he's coming up, getting underneath, and then does a great job finishing in the low angle.
So for the first time tonight, someone other than Brock Haley or Willem Firth gets on the board. And you kind of sense right now with a 3-1 lead with 5 minutes to go in the first that Beaches need to get something going. This is a building that has been very friendly to the Whitby Warriors. 14-1 on the season as Pfeiffer shoots through the crease there.
And on the road, Matty, 5-5 in the regular season. They lost both road games against Orangeville. And then, managed to win one last night, but the road's been a struggle for Whitby. They've been dominant in this building all year long. I mean, it feels like Whitby's been dominant in this building forever, right? Like, coming up and winning here is a hard thing to do, but this team has been especially dominant at home.
Stick with us at intermission in 4.5 minutes. Pat Gregoire will be joined by, I believe, one of the Beaches players as we go to break. Long way from that, however. 4 minutes left to go. Long shot from the outside from Soroketti. Patras reaches into the crease to grab that, which is allowed if you don't contact the goaltender, which he did right there.
Good take by Soroketti. I think he was more open than he realized, though. Might have been able to take that thing right in on the goal.
Firth, one-on-one. Shoved outside by Michael White, who's had a phenomenal playoffs defensively. Shot there coming from Hickey around a screen. Force Martin into a save. Rebound bounces into the corner before coming back out to White.
Firth is an outstanding player and an outstanding feeder, especially, but I think he might have passed up more angle there to throw it back to Hickey. They're not getting a ton of good looks here on Whitby. He might be better off just ripping that thing from the middle of the floor.
Pfeiffer for Patras. It wiggled the netting, but after it came off the end glass, so...
And honestly, example A of that is Patras and Haley, right? They haven't passed up a shot all the playoffs, and a bunch of them have gone in. They're shooting them with confidence coming around screens, and if they have any opening, they just let it fly. I think Beaches might benefit from that a little bit, especially from 14.
They're good for definitely 50 shots per game. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 60 number put up here by the Whitby Warriors. Heads up, Patty, they're coming your way right in front of the penalty box, where David Anderson will retain possession. Far side, hard shot, and that bounced. Oh, come on, hands. Patty, where were you, buddy?
Everyone knows the Snake's got better hands than I do. I was just protecting the face.
Well, we know what hands the Whitby offense have as they work back again. Patras back to the cage. And a rebound that bounced around in the crease of Will Johnson momentarily, but it will be the Beaches bringing it back.
Didn't get it to go, but it's the same move. If you're Beaches, the message has to be, if you have Patras in the low corner, you have to get him up. Cannot get beat underneath. There's no help underneath.
Working it through, Accioni down into the far corner. High pass ends up off the glass. First there to recover. 5 on the shot clock. Firth has to hurry. He works it here with Hickey, the shot, and Martin will make the save. And a rebound secured once again by the Beaches.
Whitby doing a nice job of having a third guy ready to support these pick and rolls. They know they want to get out and play the ball aggressively. They're doing a nice job of having a slide guy ready.
How about Firth setting the pick this time, and then the shot on the return pass, but it goes just wide off the end boards and down the floor. Both teams will have 2 timeouts that they can use at any point, 1 per period.
Another good look there. A couple of good looks really for Beaches. That's a good offensive set. Obviously, they'd rather see one go in, but they're playing good offense, getting some good looks.
Budway's shot wide of the mark. Bounces straight back up top for Dempers. Now Budway again. He'll go around a screen there from Riley Knox. The rebound into the corner. Picked up by Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre. And now the Beaches a bit nonchalant, getting towards that center line for Josh Ferry. But they do make it within the allotted 8 seconds. Firth to the outside. Raposo cuts under a check. We are in the final minute here of the first period. As it comes back to Raposo again, he stands up on Ben McDonnell, who's making his case for a high sticking call that never came.
Look for Whitby to go fairly quickly here. 50 seconds left. They definitely don't want to take this thing right down. Look for them to shoot the next 5 seconds or so.
Patras has it. He'll go over the top. Down to Pfeiffer on the crease. He puts the twister off the leg pad of Johnston. And that did come with about 38 left in the period. So now Beaches will take it down. And that'll give last shot presumably here to the Warriors. Nathan Pouliot. One of those French-born players that Pat talked about earlier. Collison to the outside. Back here and a shot. Excuse me, that's Collison taking it from Hickey. The ball will bounce up and out of play. And I believe that was Jim Dasberg with the timeout call, and Sean Williams has the clipboard ready.
Again here, Matty, the smartest guy in the arena's got the clipboard right now, so we'll see what Whitby pulls out here. That last possession, though, a good example of what we've seen a lot here. Whitby playing the ball really aggressively, and Beach is getting stuck with 1 or 2 passes.
You and I were in this building, and even in Orangeville, Jonathan, seeing this Whitby team, and how much of a different team are they when they get quality goaltending like they're getting from Caleb Martin tonight? The defense just seems so much more calm. They're able to play a little bit more aggressive, get out to hands because they know they've got a backstop making the big saves, and we didn't see that all series long in Orangeville.
Right. Yep.
A lot of people saying that, this series could have been done earlier if they got some better goaltending from the Warriors. But ever since that game 5, it just seems like Caleb Martin is just that goaltender that they've been looking for. Yes, they had some quality starts and some spurts from Wright and Martin, but that game 5 just seemed to just jolt some confidence into the goalkeeper.
Well, they need it going up against Will Johnson, who's been the number 1 for 2 years.
This might go in.
Look out, bouncing all the way back down. Floor bounces through the crease, and interesting, perhaps, play call, Jonathan, coming out and just letting Haley rip from up top.
I can almost guarantee that wasn't a play call, but that is better than any play they drew up, getting their best player and a good look from right in the middle of the floor.
Well, Pat Gregoire is going to grab someone for an interview. It looks like graduating player and transition specialist Jackson Raposo is down on the floor.
Thank you very much, Matt. Jackson, a little bit of a slow start for you guys here tonight. You guys came out real strong last night, end up wheels falling off. What do you guys need to do to kind of get that momentum that you had in from the first 2 periods last game?
I have a lot of trust in our group. I think we're a second period team. There's not much to say. We got a strong group. We're going to come out with a lot of energy.
A lot of teams or players on your team like to push the ball in transition. This is a team that likes to play fast as well. How do you use your athleticism to your advantage in this big floor?
I mean, it's a big floor, like you said, so at all costs, we're trying to push the ball. They're not as fast as us. You'll see it this period.
Obviously, you guys accomplished so much this season, a career best regular season. You punch your ticket to the Minto Cup, but clearly the message with this group is job's not done. How do you stay focused knowing that you've already punched your ticket to the Canadian Championship?
We've been playing 20 minutes at a time all year. We don't look too far ahead. We just look at winning 5 minutes at a time, and that's what we're going to look to do here.
Thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the way. Jackson Raposo of the Toronto Beaches saying just taking it 20 minutes at a time. You can take maybe 10, grab a glass of milk, because when we come back, we'll have second period action of the OJLL Finals.
Hey guys, this is Paul Dawson from the Rochester Nighthawks.
And this is Dan Lomas of the New York Riptide. We've come together to create Back of the Bird, sports stories from the best spot they're told, the back of the plane. We're sitting down with NLLers across the league to chat about Junior A, Senior A, NLL, MLL, everything that goes along with it on the floor, off the floor, and it's presented by Cottage Springs. So Give us a listen wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, and I swear you'll love it.
Like and subscribe.
Peace. Swipe up.
Welcome back inside Iroquois Park Sports Center, the site of the iconic Lacrosse Festival, which is finally back, but it's also the site of game number 2 of the OJLL Ontario Provincial Finals, where not only do the Whitby Warriors hold a 1-0 series lead, but they also hold a 3-1 lead after 20 minutes. I had the opportunity to talk to head coach of the Toronto Beaches, Riley O'Connor, and said, what does the offense need to do to generate some more offense? He said, it's not just the offense, it's the team. We need to have more time in the clock. He said that every time they had a possession where they had 20 seconds or more on the clock, they were able to get some quality looks. And that's kind of been something that they've been struggling with is, yes, they love to play fast. They love their defenders to join the rush. But sometimes if the opportunity's not there, it chews up too much clock. So it's finding that balance, cleaning things up from a defensive and transition standpoint, but still taking those opportunities when they come. Because, Matt, John, as you know, if the Beaches play fast and score in transition, that's when they're playing their best. Guys?
Thank you very much, Pat. Pat Gregoire joining us from across from the benches, not really between the benches here in Whitby on the penalty box side, but great insight from you, Pat. Riley O'Connor, the head coach of the Toronto Beaches. His father is the general manager of the Whitby Warriors, Greg O'Connor. So going to rename the Iroquois Trophy, I think, the O'Connor Cup after this one's all said and done. Matthew Carrick alongside Jonathan Donville up here in the press box.
And I'm sure Mrs. O'Connor just hopes everyone has fun today. That's what I'm hoping she's cheering for.
1 foot on either side of center and say absolutely nothing. Here's a bouncer right in on the crease. That goes off Martin. Early chance there from David Anderson. Whitby lead 3-1. Remember yesterday in Pickering, it was the Beaches that led most of the way before a 6-1 third period for the Whitby Warriors. Here's Brock Haley. Up top for Parker Pfeiffer. The shot gets through Johnson, and he opens the scoring here in the second period.
I love this from Pfeiffer. We've seen a couple times he's always trying to get to the goal, which is a great habit as a player. It's a great trait. But sometimes he just needs to let it fly, and that's what he does here. He's got all the space in the world. He's got a good little 2-on-1 here after pass by Haley with Budway. Steps in, nice little pump fake, and then he just rips it. And that's a huge goal. I was about to say this first goal is huge because the difference between 4-1 and 3-2 is massive. And now Whitby's really in the driver's seat in this game. And that's just a big goal at Pfeiffer. And again, answers the question, who besides Haley and Poitras are going to score? At least this time is Pfeiffer.
Well, no kidding. It's been a three-headed monster all season long, and much the same for the Beaches, really, has been Willem Firth along with the towers of the Toronto Beaches that are all around him in Collison and Hickey and others. Out on that offensive side, you could throw David Anderson's name in there. Transition shot there went off the end boards, picked up by Greg Palmer. He'll stay on and play offense. Giving to Firth on that outside. Couple big bounce steps in front of Michael White. Now back for Palmer again. He'll put it down into the corner. Alex Gaston spinning away from pressure. Falls and then turned in the crease. That was setting up to be pretty before Martin made the save.
Yeah, Beaches staff not happy with the non-call there, and I don't blame them. Looked pretty close to a hold, at least from our vantage point.
Tristan Dempers looked like he may have had room to shoot, but will pass off here. Gets it back for Adam Poitras, which has worked a lot throughout this season.
That's a huge save there by Johnston. Pfeiffer had that top right corner labeled.
Will Johnson, a New York Riptide draft pick after a strong bubble season last year. Wheeling over the top is Pfeiffer. That shot hits something on its way through and goes, well, it must have hit the net as they wave off the over and back as he got to center.
Really tired defense here for Beaches, coming up on 3 straight possessions here.
Here's Poitras. No shot goes to Haley. And that off the foot of a defender, perhaps Liam McKay, before it went up and out of play.
Yeah, you got to dig deep here for Beaches. You're obviously gassed, but you got to find a way to get a stop here.
Fourth now shot clock. for the Warriors. Down in the net to our right, in the zone to our right, excuse me. That was Littlejohn trying to put it in the net to our right, but Johnson turning that one aside, and now Beaches will get their defense a much-deserved rest.
Not a bad look there, but I think that bailed Beaches out a little bit, settling for the outside shot there. But again, Patty, 13 seconds left here, barely even getting into the offense. Same thing you're talking about, just taking too long to get the ball to their offense.
Firth in the corner, ball is moving here, however, Collison turns and fires, Jacob Hickey. As now Patras will bring it jogging over center. Brock Haley. Round a screen of Knox. Haley has it, has room, and a save made by Johnson. Maybe didn't need to make it, however, as Haley touched down to the crease.
Basically identical to Haley's, I believe, his first goal in the game. Whitby just does such a good job at attacking from the high corners. The low areas are always open for the ball carriers to get to the goal. They can use their athleticism to their advantage.
Turning and firing here, I believe it was Alex Gaston.
3-on-2 opportunity for Whitby.
Back down the other way, Owen Tapper leading. He goes over the shoulder, and the save there from Johnston.
Yeah, that was actually pretty bad spacing there from Whitby. Didn't really recognize that they had the 3-on-2, but Tapper's creative enough to cut through, handle the pass, and throw behind the back shot. They end up still getting a good look out of it.
White has been stuck on Willem Firth all night long. Finally, some separation for Firth and a bit of a change-up shot down there on the far side. But Martin will make the save on Hickey.
Yeah, Beach has got, just plain and simple, has to start converting on some of those pick and rolls. They've done a great job of getting around the pressure, hitting the roll guy. They just need to start burying some of them.
And credit this Whitby defense. Pat, I know you and I talked about it throughout that series. Is a sliding save from Johnson. You're right, Jonathan. What a save indeed. But then he got tangled up with Parker Pfeiffer going after the rebound. But a very underrated defense for this Whitby team that has been smothering throughout this playoffs. Often overshadowed by the historic offensive season that was put up by guys like Parker Pfeiffer right here. Excuse me, that's Budway. Giving through Patras, Haley, and Pfeiffer. As Raposo runs in. Takes a sidearm shot. Now bounces off the end boards. And now Soroketti will try and push. Soroketti back for Darlison. Jake Darlison looking for Soroketti back on the crease again. Decided not to take the shot. And it was intercepted there by Josh Ferry.
Yeah, nice play by Ferry, too. That was pretty offense from Whitby. Would have been an easy goal on the back pipe if he didn't pick it off.
He played 5 minutes here. Lane opening up in a shot taken by Anderson. And Martin will hang on to that as well.
Another kind of low angle shot from Beaches here. They got to find a way to get to the middle of the goal, especially in tight.
Whitby has found a way through, and they do it off the stick of Lucas Littlejohn.
Yeah, obviously not the same situation, but this is a good counterexample of the value of getting across the front of the goal. Littlejohn, who has just totally found his offensive game, makes a sweet move on the toe drag, and then he gets back across the front of the goal. Coaches always tell you to do it for a reason. You get the goalie moving and you increase your angle. Really, a really slick play to get around him on the toe drag, and then a really fundamental play to get across the crease and finish with basically the oldest finish of the book. Fake short side, reach your stick out, finish far side. And man, Littlejohn, I think coming in was one of the most important, if not the most important player in the series because of the secondary scoring he provided. And he's just been a total X factor for this Whitby team.
Well, they have secondary and tertiary scoring, and now they've got whatever the fourth one is called. Big collision here. Gaston shooting over the shoulder. That one skips off the glass and goes up and out of play. But you're right. As soon as Littlejohn found his scoring touch, that is just not fair that you've got four guys that have been able to put it in the net almost at will here in the back part of this playoffs. Pfeiffer has been rolling the highlight reel.
I should mention that as I was talking up Littlejohn there, he did throw the ball into his own bench. So my reign as the king of the broadcasters jinx is still on.
That's why we kept you up here out of firing range. Put Patty between the benches.
Whoa. I think you're kind of stunned, Matty.
Yeah.
Got no words for that one. This is pretty simple. Nathan Pouliot just shoots this thing as hard as he possibly can into the top right corner. That's an awesome angle for the viewers. I mean,
I was trying to figure out how that got in there, but man, that is just a beautiful shot, like you said, from Pouliot, just finding the corner.
Jonathan, you could speak to this. Isn't that sometimes the spark that you need? A guy that's been in and out of the lineup all playoffs, comes in, scores a beautiful goal. Maybe that's that spark this offense needs to get going for the Toronto Beaches.
100%. You can build the goaltending up in your head to be more than it is, right? You can say, oh, are we ever going to get one by this guy? And then one of your players who's not even your leading scorer steps up and goes, hey, I'm here for a reason. I can go pipe in just like anybody else can. It's a big psyche boost for Beaches at a time when they really needed one. If this thing got any further, they're in trouble.
Not only not one of their offensive specialists, but Pouliot, a guy who's been in and out of the lineup throughout this playoffs and throughout the season for the Beaches. Here comes Taylor Dooley straight down the middle. He'll now pass off, and guys, you can see the extra hop in the step here offensively for the Beaches, who have to rush back now and try and get away from Pfeiffer, but the shoulder save from Johnston, who immediately pushes back. He can sense perhaps some momentum shifting back the way of the Beaches here. Greg Palmer now down in the corner. Raposo front of the crease. And there are bodies everywhere inside that fan on a couple big collisions. Beaches bench had to hold up and nearly turned into numbers. Look at the pass from Tapper, trying to lead Haley there.
Raposo's been super aggressive here with the ball. Probably regrets one or two of them, but that was a great take. Does an actually good job getting across the goal, too. Just a nice save by Martin.
Out from the outside. Beaches spreading the floor now. Thought there was a shot coming, but ended up holding back, and David Anderson rushes over his center. That was Matthew Collison, who couldn't pull the trigger on the Beaches offense.
Yeah, boy, Collison's a guy Beaches would love to see get going, too. One of their leading scorers during the regular season, and a big body who can help out with these athletic Whitby defenders.
Man, Pfeiffer is looking for that social media viral moment in this period. That's about 3 where he's gone flying right in front of Will Johnson and nothing to show for it, at least not yet. Here's Palmer. His shot sat on by Martin and no rebound.
The Beaches has generated some really good looks off that Firth down screen, getting Firth coming over the top. Whitby's been doing a nice job of flushing it out of his stick. It's pretty simple. Beaches just has to start canning some of these shots. They're getting good looks out of that action.
Shot comes here from Tristan Dempers. This is the Ontario Finals. It is a best-of-3 series. The first game was won last night by Whitby, 11-7. Both of these teams have qualified for the Minto Cup, being here in Ontario. With no host team, it is the top 2 in Ontario that get to move on. Here's Collison. Spin move there from Anderson. The shot goes off Martin. Collison was getting up slowly at the side of the crease and will now head off as there's a few little shoves in behind the play as well.
That was a classic Beaches possession. That's what they're looking for. They had Collison at the top as a swing guy, got the ball from the left corner to the right corner, got the defense moving, and ended up getting a good look out of it.
Alex Gaston looks off the left side, kept it on the right. Now the lefties get to work. Palmer. Far side finds Matthew Collison, who rips and scores.
Yeah, this is what Beaches want. They want to throw east-west passes right in a row, get the defense moving. So you'll see it starts with Firth here in the spot he's always in, comes around to Palmer, then right back to Collison. East-west, gets the defense moving, and then it seems like a low angle, but the goalie doesn't know where he is because he just had to go from pipe to pipe back to the original one. That's what Beaches wants to do, and that's what they need to do more of here.
Jonathan, that's certainly the case. And with this big floor as well, I know the Beaches were really upset that they weren't able to play in Ted Reeve Arena. They had an unbelievable home record. But one thing they've noticed over this playoffs, a larger floor might actually be better for them. They love spreading out the defense. They love pushing the ball in transition, playing fast. So them going to a lot of barns and playing with those large surfaces might actually play into their hand. That last offensive possession is something that they need to be trying to do almost every single time they establish the offensive zone.
Yeah, and Beach is at their best when they're getting into the low corners as well. So they're using the whole offensive zone, whereas Whitby likes to initiate almost exclusively from the top. And they do a lot of up picks. Rarely does Whitby get the ball truly into the corners, whereas Beaches, when they're doing it well, get it down to the corners, through the top, and going side to side consecutive times.
Beaches may want to put a run together here. Is that hard shot skipped off the end boards, but look out as it couldn't be brought down by Dooley right at center. And off the post, it looked like they're in transition for Jake Darlison, who then mishandles it for the over and back. Cameron Accioni.
Whitby got away, or Beaches rather got away with a too many men call there.
Out towards the crease. Pat Gregoire shaking his head in agreement. He's got the mic down floor side. Jonathan Donville next to me, and Matthew Carrick with the JVI Sports Network as that shot gets through and in. Jacob Hickey wants in on the action.
Yeah, obviously not the prettiest goal Hickey will ever score in his career, but a big one, just getting off the rebound. Anderson's had some really good looks here. They're going to start going in, especially after the playoffs he's had. Hickey just finds himself with the ball in the middle of the defense and scores. But just going back to what Pat was saying earlier, it really does feel like this team has found a pep in their step here since that Pouliot goal went in. They've got maybe a couple of lucky bounces, call it momentum, call it luck, whatever you want. But they've gotten some good looks here and a couple of bounces to go their way, and they're right back in this thing at 5-4.
Some of the Beaches fans trying to get the wave going. I don't think that's going to work here in Whitby. But Pat, to your point, perfect in Pickering, by the way, this Beaches team since they moved there. They also won their first game at Brampton Memorial, which is not a big wide floor.
Well, yeah, perfect till last night, right? Losing their first.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, forgot about that one.
Losing their first one of this series and having to go on the road, which they did against Peterborough, go on the road to come back. But putting Whitby in the driver's seat.
Spin move here from Haley. May have got tugged back and ducking out of the way in behind the net was Pfeiffer. Soroketti will get the shot. By the way, since the first round of the playoffs, guys, home teams are 15-2 going into the final series, not counting last night. That makes it 15-3 for home teams through the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, one of the interesting ironies of this series, too, obviously, with Beaches playing in Pickering, most of these Whitby players live closer to Pickering than the Beaches players do. So it's almost like a double home game for Whitby. Boy, Anderson's all around the goal right now. Well, these are going to start going in for him. Too many good looks.
Of course, kind of an awkward situation with early ice going in at Ted Reeve. Beaches kind of playing Toronto Nomads. I know the rugby team has that name locked, but having to play in Pickering, played the one game in Brampton as Willem Firth takes that shot in on Caleb Martin. On the run is Darlison to the outside. Here's Brock Haley. Now Patras over the top. Patras will duck around, cut, and takes the shot off the post. Bounced right back to Tristan Dempers, however. Patras now cuts back. Out of the corner. Looks like that's Jacob Hickey who's back playing defense. Haley now takes it down deep. Haley has Parker Pfeiffer open. Pfeiffer goes to Patras. Hickey up to play on Patras, and then the shot. Off the left arm of Will Johnson, and another extended offensive possession here for Whitby. Just when you thought the Beaches were going to start to run away. They pulled within one now. Shot comes there from Tristan Dempers, another save from Johnson, and you can see the Beaches defense was tired. So was Dempers. Oh, Martin, did he get a piece of that as it went cross crease? Bounces all the way back to center and went over and back. And Tapper is going to get the quick restart, and he scores.
Yeah, end-to-end action here. I was going to say credit to Hickey for getting up the floor on the possession when he was gassed. And then I think Tapper kind of catches the Beaches defense falling asleep here. We'll see it pick it up on the restart. Credit to him for playing through the possession. Picks it up on the restart. Beaches has guys back. They just, you can't see, I guess you can't see them in the screen, but they have guys back. They just don't get there fast enough. And he finds a hole between the in the five hole between the stick and the leg of Johnson, who's been stellar here in the second period. Gets one to go for Whitby.
Well, as we said, he's been stellar for about, I would say, 15 or 16 months here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, starting with that bubble season last year.
Whitby's got a lot of guys, Matty, who can get up and run in transition, but Darlison and Tapper really stick out, especially in the second period as the left-hand shots coming down this offside here on a big floor like we've talked about. They've been really good here for Whitby.
Well, Pat has been singing
here we go,
praises
Darlison, here we go.
of Darlison the entire playoffs. As you said, there he is again with Haley on the crease. And he'll get the apple with yet another goal from Brock Haley.
My ego would have loved if Darlison just took this in and scored it himself, but smart man giving it up to the 74 goal scorer during the year. Just a blown coverage, like almost like an NFL blown coverage for Beaches. They just don't get back. They leave the best goal scorer. Wow, he picked a tight corner there too. Johnson throwing up the arms, trying to keep the top corners away. And Haley goes, nope, I see some space. I'm going to take it, thanks.
You'll do anything to reverse the commentator's jinx, won't you? This face-off is being kicked all over the place. Running after it hard was Jack Oldman, but just standing in place was Taylor Dooley to bring it down for the Beaches. Seemed like a lot of effort was put in to draw the game back within one for the Beaches, and now you look at the scoreboard and they're down 3 yet again. Make it 2 as Firth scores from up top.
Love it here from Willem Firth. He's been a distributor all game. On this one, a good pick here by the captain, Accioni, and he just comes around and rips this thing. Good pick, a bit of a miscommunication. Whitby leaves him open. Gets right to the middle of the floor and just smokes it just over the pad, kind of at the pant level of the goaltender. That's a goal scorer's goal. Sticking around here, sticking around. Not the game script that Beaches would have preferred, but they're not going away either. No surprise. This is an awesome team, the higher seed in this series, and a team that's been resilient all playoff long. But it's worth mentioning, these guys are sticking around, even though they're already punched their tickets to Minto.
Ascioni to Firth. There was a screen on the far side. They work it back to Gaston instead. Now in the corner. Firth quickly back here for Collison, who rips another one.
Another classic Beaches possession here. Pass, like passes all consecutively in a row. It starts with Firth, gets down to the corners like I mentioned. Want to get the ball low, back up to the top, swings. The ball swings to the other side, and Collison finally gets one to go. Does a nice job shooting around the defender Wallace there. But that's what Beaches want. They want to get the ball low in the corners, get it swinging through the top, and then get it out to the wings with let their guys attack.
You can see the defense kind of go down into the corner to watch that ball. As a couple times we've seen Beaches try and take it to the crease here in this period. But that's twice now the shot has opened up for Collison up top, and he's capitalized. And just like that, Beaches back within one, and they're rushing again. They want to tie. Firth nearly got it. It was off the shoulder of Martin, however.
Boy, Firth had that corner too. Nice save by Martin, and I think a hefty chunk of the post too.
Here's Soroketti up top. Through Pfeiffer to Haley on the far side. Big collision in front of him. And Haley lost the ball on his way in towards the net. The captain, Matthew Accioni. Beach got to hurry. They're late in their 8 count, and they will not make it across
Watch out, Haley's
center.
behind the play here.
And Haley, just missed the pass from Darlison again. Darlison was looking back at him when he brought the ball back down. Now Pfeiffer will look for Haley, who puts it into the feet of Will Johnson.
A couple nice plays by Darlington again there, getting the ball up for his team in transition.
Beaches from the outside. It's Firth. Now Palmer. Cross floor once again. It'll be Hickey for Palmer. Into the corner. There is space open up top. Anderson takes it instead and shoots over top of Peyton Wallace and through Caleb Martin, and we got ourselves a tie game.
Yeah, nice pump fake here by Anderson. I mentioned it a couple times. He just had too many good looks. A player of his skill level was going to get going eventually. Again, starts in the low corners for Beaches. This time it doesn't swing. It just goes back up to Anderson. He gets Wallace to jump in front of the lane, pulls it back a little bit, and then hammers it high to low. And we got a tie game here. This thing was really close to getting away from Beaches. Johnston kept them in it for a bit, and then their offense has gotten going here in the second half of the period. And we got a tie game.
As the ball starts kind of going back and forth into the corner, back up top, you get kind of expecting passes and almost ball watching, I think, for this Whitby defense. And the Beaches are recognizing that in picking the right time to take the shot on those last couple goals. Here's Gaston. He's going to bounce one through. C'est magnifique.
Yeah, this is just a great play by Gaston. Just makes a nice move to the top side. And it sounded like we're in a booth here. You could hear the piping in, though, from our angle. This is just a one-on-one play. I guess gets a pick at the end. But just shooting it on the run. Yeah, he's fired up, and he should be. That's a big goal.
It seems like this Beaches team just, and I'm so sorry for this terrible pun, they just ride the wave. Sometimes they get a little too high, sometimes they get a little low. But when they go on these runs and the offense really starts clicking, this is when they play their best. Now the challenge for them is if they get that punch back from the Warriors, how do they reply? How do they stop the run? That's the thing that I'll be looking for in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds in this period.
Yeah, we actually had a goalie change here, too, for Whitby, which if your Beaches, exactly what you're saying is the message. We got them, boys. We got them. They're panicking. Keep going. Keep going. And this will be a big 2.5 minutes here to end the period. If Beaches can hang on to this lead before the period, that'll be a huge momentum boost for them.
Remember back to that first period, Whitby took the only timeout, so Sean Williams not wanting to burn it here is on the run. Oh my goodness, David Anderson looking for another one of those highlight reel goals that he's become almost his trademark here in this playoffs.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much there from Anderson. I think he could have just ripped that one. Hunting the behind the back shot, I guess, but I don't know if it really helped him that much in that situation.
Inside the 2-minute warning, crowd trying to do their part to get their Warriors back into this game. Johnston will pass up here in transition for Ferry. Stay with us at intermission as Pat Gregoire will try and get a word with a Whitby player. Don't envy him having to walk over to that bench after this period. Low shot. Accioni gets Liam Wright looking over his shoulder on his first major test since coming on in relief.
Yeah, that's not what the goalie wants to see coming into a game. A guy catching a pass right off a swing, shooting it around the screen off the hit from like 6 feet. Nice save.
So here's Whitby now. Little John with Accioni playing high defense. Patras now. He'll shoot, and Johnson will just stand his ground, making the save with the left leg.
Curious, by the way, if the goaltending change for Whitby will be permanent, or if they're just looking to buy Martin a few extra minutes here before the period to kind of reset. He's been pretty sharp. Yeah, we've been talking about all broadcasts. He's been sharp recently, and he's been mostly sharp tonight. I don't think any of those goals are really bad goals. So curious to see if he comes back into this thing in the third.
If you asked me that question at this point in the series, last series, I would have said not a chance, but I do like the point there. 35 seconds left to go here in the second period. Parker Pfeiffer brings it down after it bounced off his stick. About halfway through the shot clock for the Warriors. Patras over the top. He's going to cut to the net. Over the shoulder. His shot went off the end glass. It's picked up by the Beaches now with under 20 to play, and Riley O'Connor wants to talk this one through.
Yeah, Patras is a guy who normally makes his money as a slick guy, like I've mentioned, around the goal line. Just throwing on his Eric Lindros hat there. A nice little power move right to the middle. Get into the hole. A nice behind the back shot, too. I think it helped him in that instance. Just couldn't get it to go.
The Ontario Junior Lacrosse League playoffs are brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Ontario and their hashtag Milk Up campaign. For more information, including recipes, visit new.milk.org. Okay, Patty, Riley O'Connor's drawing it up over on the Beaches side. Who do you like offensively?
Why are you asking me when you have the expertise of Jonathan Donville?
Okay. you take the Whitby defense then, and then we'll go to the offense here.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, you assume that the play is going to be drawn up for Willem Firth. He's your distributor. He's your guy. But the same thing as we talked about, they have so many other dynamic shooters. I think you've got to put pressure on who the ball carrier is, but have to recognize that there's no doubt that these guys have other players on the floor that can hurt you.
Yeah, I think the answer is also different than it might have been 5 minutes ago, right? When Firth was creating a lot of the offense for Beaches, I think that's a pretty easy call. You're going to shut him off, try to take him out of the play. Anderson just scored. Collison just scored. These guys are starting to find their rhythm. Last thing you want to do is give a free open shot. I think the biggest message for Beaches is nothing across the crease. Let our goalie see the shot. We'll take our chances there, but we can't give up cross crease. And obviously Beaches is outstanding at the cross crease plays.
Well, this is Firth right now. He's got 4 assists in this game already with 6 points. Greg Palmer in the corner has 3 assists here in the period, and the ball gets away from the Beaches as the time ticks down and the horn sounds as there was a tie-up over in front of the Beaches bench. And we're going to get extra penalties over on the Toronto side as they were arguing the call over in front of the bench. Not sure that our cameras caught it, but man, Riley O'Connor was fired up.
I think we'll have to wait and see what happens here. I think Beaches is going to get 2 penalties out of this. We'll wait and see what the call is after the intermission, but Coach O'Connor is not happy.
Scott Reed missed a majority of the playoffs, slotted back in at the end of Game 5, and now he joins Pat Gregoire now after 2 periods here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center.
Thank you very much, Matt, alongside, as you mentioned, Scott Reed of the Whitby Warriors. Scott, a little bit squirrely there for you guys. It felt like you weren't really exactly playing that Whitby style of defense. What were the Beaches doing to prevent you guys from playing that brand of lacrosse?
They were just playing fastball, and we got away from our game a little bit, but we know what our game is, and we just got to stick to our principles and keep rolling here.
A lot of discussion right now saying, do you rest your players? Do you go for an Ontario championship? Talk to your coach, Sean Williams. He said, you guys are all in. You know how important this is. How important is it for you guys not just to go on a high note in the Minto Cup, but do something special that this group hasn't done for a long time?
Yeah, it's one step in the process, right? We're not looking ahead of it. We're just staying on our track, and we're excited to see what happens here.
Big third period here for you guys to try to regain the lead and end this series in 2. What do you guys need to do to get back to playing your brand of lacrosse?
We just got to come out and play fast. Our game is a fast game. We press out on the ball, and we like to cause turnovers a lot, so we're going to look to be getting back to that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Scott. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Scott Reed, one of the defensive stalwarts for this Whitby Warriors team. No doubt they're going to have to be stingy on the back end if they're going to want to come back and win the Ontario Championship. When we come back, we'll have third period action from Iroquois Park.
Hey guys, this is Paul Dawson from the Rochester Nighthawks.
And this is Dan Lomas of the New York Riptide. We've come together to create Back of the Bird, sports stories from the best spot they're told, the back of the plane. We're sitting down with NLLers across the league to chat about Junior A, Senior A, NLL, MLL, everything that goes along with it, on the floor, off the floor, and it's presented by Cottage Springs. So give us a listen wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, and I swear you'll love it.
Like and subscribe.
Peace. Swipe up.
welcome it back inside Iroquois Park Sports Center, where the Toronto Beaches have gained a 8-7 lead. And Matt, Jonathan, we talked about sparks, things you're looking for. Well, maybe a power play marker to start the third period would be something that the Warriors are looking for. We had offsetting minors with Ben McDonnell and Willem Firth, but then the extra penalty was called on the bench, Riley O'Connor, for unsportsmanlike. So it's going to be the Whitby Warriors, who we know have no problem finding the back of the net when it comes to the man advantage. And as I said, and as we've been saying quite a bit this broadcast, perhaps this is the spark that the home team side needs.
Yeah, basically a gift there for Whitby at the end of the period, as lucky as they could kind of get there. This is the first power play we'll see in this game for either team. Whitby so dangerous with Piper, Poitras, and Haley at the top. You know what's coming. It's going to be some sort of look for one of those three.
And these are our first penalties of the game, opening the third period. Here with possession is that power play of the Whitby Warriors. They're going right to left here to end the third period.
If you're Beaches, you're probably saying, let's let Little John and Piper take their chance. You probably want, yeah, you're seeing them take away Haley basically at all costs here.
Well, here is Little John already with a goal in the game, as does Piper and Poitras, but their goals don't match the three that Brock Haley has put up.
Yeah, Coach Williams wasn't happy. That looked like a bit of a miscommunication there. Maybe it was just sloppy play by Whitby, but didn't look like all five guys were on the same page there. Piper was coming around a pick, and the ball didn't come.
Owen Tapper, the only other goal scorer for the Warriors. Meanwhile, Nathan Pouliot, 2 from Willem Firth, Jacob Hickey, a pair from Collison. David Anderson and Alex Gaston have the goals for the Beaches.
Also, even just having Little John on the power play is notable too. We've seen Piper in that spot almost the whole way. Bumps Piper down to the crease where he's obviously a very good player as well. So it's still a great look for Whitby, but just shows the confidence that the staff has in him.
You wondered if the goaltender change we saw in that second period was for a spark or if it was going to be Liam Wright the entire way, and it is indeed Liam Wright that comes out. And I don't actually see Caleb Wright. Oh, yes, he is camouflaged with the red shirt and the red paint over on the bench. And speaking of red paint, it's the red paint of the post that takes that shot away. Look out, Haley with tons of room. And we're tied again. Power play goal for Brock Haley.
Yeah, this actually goes back to a nice loose ball play by Haley. Whitby generates a reset here. Haley makes a tough loose ball in traffic, and then Beach is kind of scrambling. Little John pushed it, thought Piper could have shot this one over to Poitras to Haley, and he's going to shoot this every single time. I thought in real time, that deflected. It looked like, hard to tell. I don't know if Patty had a better angle at it. Looked like it deflected real time, but that on the replay, it looks like he might have just shot it.
I think it was just based on the read that Will Johnson, he kind of gestured to his hand there that he felt like maybe it went off his stick, but I think that's a clean shot and just a very uncharacteristic misread by Johnson, who sees the ball so well from the outside.
Yeah.
That is a 6-point night for Brock Haley with his 4th goal of the game. Pat, get your socks ready down there, okay? We're 2 away for Brock Haley, who had, I think it was 6 sock tricks in the regular season. Ball in the corner here for the Beaches, meanwhile. Still trying to pick it up. Gaston was all tied up, and it will be the Warriors that play it here.
Yeah, something to watch too with the offsetting minors. Willem Firth is still in the penalty box. Will be for a while here. So we've been talking about it all broadcast, but even heightened now, who else is going to score for Beaches?
Him and Ben McDonnell serving 2+ a dead ball. Shot that sails through the crease of Johnson. Some flinch as if it was coming in on a shot. This one will come off the stick of Brock Haley. And Haley can't control the rebound. That'll allow the Beaches to run up and over center. It's Jackson Raposo going to take it the entire way himself. Spins back and away from pressure.
Boy, even when Haley doesn't score,
well to get that to Dooley. Sorry.
even when Haley doesn't score, it seems like the goalie just never picks it up cleanly. When they don't go in, it seems like the goaltenders are kind of fighting them off, just getting a piece of them.
I mean, I don't want to stand in against a Brock Haley shot, but I kind of do because from up here, they just look like shots, but they always seem to go in. I would love to see what the goaltender sees. I would not love to feel what the goaltender feels.
We used to play 3-on-2 mini sticks at Cornell, and for years of playing against Jeff Teat in blocks, I always wondered why our goalies couldn't stop the shot.
Good
and then
luck.
I jumped in goal for the mini sticks, and he put 3 to the same spot. Now is still looking around, wondering where the ball was.
Shot from Little John, blocked by Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre. Out to the outside, no room here for Tristan Dempers, but he finds space. Up top, bouncing off the pick. And the lead goes back to Whitby.
Yeah, great move here by Dempers. Just a one-on-one play. I got Dempers down for 3 goals in the playoffs, so not a big score for this Whitby team. This is just a pretty classic hitch and go here. Yeah, just gets the Beaches defender a little bit too aggressive, gets to the middle of the floor and smokes one. Yeah, nice move by Denver, stepping up at a big moment for his team. Good news for Beaches is Willem Firth back in the game for them. So they got their guy back in there. Bad news is they watched their really hard-earned 1-goal lead evaporate pretty quickly here.
Pair of goals to start this period for the Whitby Warriors. First one coming off the power play. Now Jack Budway will give off to Adam Patras and see if he can do more damage. Patras shot into the feet of Will Johnson. Save made as it bounces here for the Peaches, and Accioni bringing it across center. Popped out of the stick of Jacob Hickey, and here come the Warriors again. Owen Tapper already with a goal in transition on the night, and that one got deflected just as it was released.
I think Tapper made the right call to hold up a little bit. I think he just went the wrong way. He went to his offside. If he had cut back to his traditional side, let the righty come in behind him, they would have had a better look. Still got a decent look and rolled out of his stick. Nothing you can do about that. But right idea, just went the wrong way there.
Here's Willem Firth. First touch of the period comes almost 5 minutes in. Now Anderson, bit of a twist on his shot. Don't think that ever got through to right, and Anderson took a couple extra chops over on the far side. The officials allow all of that to go through.
Boy, we talked about this as Beaches forced a turnover a couple times with Finley Thompson and Mimico. Some great goal scorers have 1 or 2 releases that make everything look the same. Anderson's got about 300 releases that we've seen tonight. that guy's got an endless bag of tricks.
Well, in the house of the Whitby Warriors, the Let's Go Beaches chant goes. That shot did go wide off the end boards. They'll get another one. Gaston will try a third time, not the charm. As it bounces back up towards center again. And Matthew Collison will run out of time and space. And there is the Let's Go Whitby chants in answer of the Beaches. Hard shot from Haley. Johnson will make the save as it bounces right back to the restraining line.
Yeah, that is Haley's sweet spot. That's a big save by Johnson there. We've seen that go in. I mean, we saw it go in 2 minutes ago, but a whole bunch of other times too.
Lucas Littlejohn nearly brought it down, and if this is your first time watching Whitby Warriors in the playoffs, he's headed to his 2nd straight national championship in 4 months. Played in the Centennial Cup with the Pickering Panthers of the Ontario Junior Hockey League to start this Junior A lacrosse season. Slip there from Willem Firth, and that's going to be an over and back, and look out, here come Whitby. They had 2 down floor, and Olden. The shot on the twist just bounced wide. However, it will be possession recovered by Adam Patras.
That's basically a must save there for Johnson. That thing goes in. Beach is in big trouble. Firth would have been better off definitely going back there instead of going for the change. But easy to say up here, I haven't been playing lacrosse for 45 minutes already.
You've been playing lacrosse long enough. You can call whatever you want. That Shot from Piper went right off the foot of Jackson Raposo, and he is hobbling his way off to the bench, but is going to get there.
You know, I want to be very clear. I'm not taking anything away from the guys on the floor, but you can tell that these guys are gassed right now. They're gassed, and the offensive players especially are sore. And any junior A player who's played in the playoffs knows what that's about. But it's just been abbreviated this year, like we've mentioned a couple times, with the guys having to get out to the Worlds. And it's starting to set in for these guys. They're exhausted. They're playing back-to-back nights, and they're sore. And it's who can kind of work through that stuff better is who's gonna have success here.
And it is not a cold day.
No.
Here in the building either. Of course, the Ontario Lacrosse Festival has been going since about 9 o'clock this morning here on the main pad. So humid in the arena. There was a chance of rain that never really developed here in the Durham area, which only added to the humidity. Look out here on the crease as Hickey with a little flyby in the shot. Saved by Wright as Hickey went through the crease.
Yeah, that's exactly what Beach is looking for, though. Firth coming around the screen, kicked it to Anderson, right back inside, east to west, in consecutive passes.
We're near the halfway mark of this third period. 9-8 Warriors already leading the series. Best of three.
Oh.
Look out, bouncing ball. Home floor has been so good to Whitby. They nearly got a home bounce there as it was up for grabs in behind Will Johnson. Haley will look to the far side. Soroketti gets a screen from Patras. He rolls back to the front of the crease where he was instantly stuffed by the defense. What a set there.
Yeah, bad luck there for Whitby. Littlejohn cut, and I think he was actually open. Didn't get the ball and ended up cutting into Patras. Bit of a tie-up there. Just bad luck. That's pretty good offense there. Nothing you can really do about that.
Credit to Chris Harland and the call-up. Caden Hewitt colliding to meet Adam Patras on the front of the crease there. We'll see what the offense can do. They're late in their shot clock, however. Not going to matter for Matthew Collison. That shot had eyes, and it just got stopped at the line by the stick of Liam Wright.
Boy, Collison's got a heavy shot, too. That thing's coming out with some heat on it.
Pfeiffer spins off a check on the crease, and Johnson takes another highlight reel goal away.
Yeah, Will Johnson's doing absolutely everything he can to keep this team in the game. That almost looked like slow motion, Pfeiffer getting through there. Great move to get all the way to the goal, and a pretty good shot, too. Just a great save.
This isn't the 3 fan buses that came from Orangeville, but look out, here's Hickey on the crease. It is still kind of dueling fan bases down here on the main pad at Iroquois Park Sports Center as the intensity has ramped up a little bit here as we pass the halfway mark of this third period.
Yeah, you got half the crowd looking for a celebration tonight and half the crowd looking to be spoilers. Makes for a great atmosphere.
Little John. His shot off of Johnson, and these are some of my favorite games of the year. If you missed Game 5, I said the same thing. When the festival's going on, yeah, you've got Whitby fans. Yeah, you've got Beaches fans. But, I mean, we've got Nepean fans in the house. We've got Owen Sound fans in the house. We've got Niagara in the house. All here for the festival and all here watching some incredible lacrosse. The big boys, major series, were down on the floor last night. They got to watch that. And, of course, Pickering just down the street. They can take in this entire series. Stick taken out of the hands of Little John as Johnston was making that save.
Yeah, I think games in this time of year in this arena have a lot of nostalgia for people like me who've grown up playing in the festival and watching junior A games here. We used to always, my brother and I, make it a point to stick around after, playing in Whitby to catch these games. Love being in this bar. We used to watch the Team Ontario minor as well.
Shot from point blank range from Hickey. And, man, Hickey's had his chances here in this third period, but nearly all of them have bounced wide so far.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. When Beaches watch this back, they're going to realize they had their looks to win, or not to win yet, but they had their looks to score here in the third. Give credit to Liam Wright, who's been up to the task.
Good to see Raposo back out there after taking that shot off the foot.
Another guy, Raposo, leaving it all on the floor, but he's exhausted. He's been flying up the floor every possession almost. Takes a toll on your body.
Raposo is a graduating player. That one's in.
Wow.
I believe, is that Anderson?
Finally have an answer. I guess he can score ugly goals because normally my jaw is on the floor. This time it's a quick stick. It's a nice release, but certainly one that Liam Wright's going to want back.
Yeah, honestly, surprised he just stepped right into this thing. He's pretty low angle there from pretty far out. He hasn't been shy all night, and like I said, the guy's got a million tricks up his sleeves and a million shots. And yeah, they don't ask how, right? That's the old saying, and it especially applies in the playoffs, and especially applies when you're exhausted. Just get one to cross the line, one way or another.
Goalie water break gives us another chance to look at this shot that just sneaks by. And a chance to shout out the Dairy Farmers of Ontario one more time. Their hashtag Milk Up campaign in support of this Junior A season, Ontario Junior Lacrosse League broadcasts. For more information, including recipes, visit new.milk.org.
That's a disheartening one, too, for Whitby. You can see that the body language for the defenders just dropped a little bit. They played pretty well here, and we're certainly looking to just hang on in the third period. It's a big thing for a group to realize that they're going to have to go and get at least one more.
Well, Rusty Kruger told us before Game 5, the head coach of the Orangeville Northmen, it's a very simple game. You just have to score one more than the other guys. So far, neither team quite able to do that, as this has been a battle throughout this third period.
Yes, Soroketti on that last possession was feeding the whole way, looking to pass, think he might have been better off trying to be aggressive, trying to get to the goal. And it only takes, one or two good looks here to get one to go. You got to see guys be aggressive, even if they're not maybe the leading scorer too.
Firth goes over the top. Looked off the return feed there for, Collison. Collison for Anderson. His shot went wide. Gobbled up by Wright, and now Littlejohn across center. Under 7 minutes to go here in the third. If required, Game 3 will be tomorrow night at the Pickering Recreation Complex, about 15 minutes west of here. Haley doesn't want that to happen. He'll give Whitby the lead. He's got 5 on the night.
I mean, the guy's just putting together one of the best shooting seasons we've ever had, and it's because of plays like this. When you watch Brock Haley, it's not to take anything away from him, but guys say he scores things quietly. It's because he gets shots that other guys get. His are just going in at a way higher level. This is not that good of a shot. He's close to the dotted line, shouldn't do a screen, I guess, but he's still pretty far out. It just goes piping in. He's just putting every shot to a great spot, and he's shooting with such confidence that so many of these are going in.
The reaction you saw from Jackson Raposo is just absolute helplessness.
Yeah, exactly. It's the feeling that every mistake you make, every time you're not perfect defensively, he's going to go pipe it in and hurt you. And again, it feels like Beach has grinded so hard for that last goal. And like Jeff Merrick, the hockey commentator, always talks about easy goals. You get snipers coming down the wing in the NHL getting easy goals. That's what Haley gets you. He gets you just, when you need a goal, he'll just come around and pick and rip one. And that really helps.
Yet another 1-goal lead here for Whitby. Littlejohn wants to extend it to 2. Mike Smith trying to get the crowd invested here as well. Haley over the top. He'll stutter step. Carbon copy of the last goal, except this time it's a low shot, and this time it doesn't go in. May turn into a Beaches transition opportunity. Adam Patras hoping it does not. As Patras and Chris Harlan get tangled up. And Carter Schott coming on.
Had a good example there, what you're talking about in the first period. Adam Poitras selling out with basically max effort just to keep the ball on the floor and stop Beaches from getting a fast break. A guy who scored more points than anybody in these playoffs, doing the little things that matter. 5 minutes left, you got to do all of them.
Under 6 to play, on the run, the shot from Collison. Goes off the end boards, up and out of play. A couple bounces off the dasher before Littlejohn can corral it and try and turn it into offense, but look out. Whoa. jumping the route was Matthew Accioni. Nearly was home free with Willem Firth.
Yeah, too early for Whitby to stop playing offense here, but definitely look for them to take 30 on every possession. If they shoot, I was going to say if they shoot before 5 or 10, I'd be surprised. But Brock Haley says, haven't you heard of me?
Oh, we have. Brock Haley, 7 points tonight, including 5 goals. Power play marker that opened this period. And it has been back and forth ever since. Over the top, a bit of a shove there for Jacob Hickey. He'll put it into the corner. Anderson, the most recent goal scorer. Over the top. Anderson looking low on right, and he'll make the save.
I think Anderson might have been able to keep going there instead of setting his feet. Might have been able to get right to the goal.
Peyton Wallace needs to hurry. Gets it across center into the stick of Littlejohn. He's looked like he was going to run past the Beaches defense, but gets pushed out wide. And now Tristan Dempers back to Parker Pfeiffer. Under 10 on the shot clock. Pfeiffer from the fan. Look out in that Beaches bench.
Luke Magny didn't even flinch there, just took it.
Raposo getting through everybody. Where's the shotgun? It's in the crease, as is the Beaches transition player. And like you said, banged up and absolutely gassed. Raposo giving it everything he's gotten to try and retie this game.
Yeah, honestly, probably a little bit too much from him there, but give the guy credit. He's playing absolutely as hard as he can.
Here's Jack Budway. Whitby. Riley Knox over for Patras. Patras around a screen from Soroketti. There's the shot. Big rebound in front. And Soroketti was all tangled up. He couldn't bring it down. It'll roll to Liam McKay, who lost it. This is on the 8 count of the Beaches. They got to hurry here. And just reaching across the line was Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre.
Yeah, that's a big save by Johnson. He basically has to slam the door shut here for Beaches, but up to the task there on a good look from Patras.
Palmer to Firth off the bench. Now Collison. Corner, Anderson. There's tried the jumping quick stick back for Willem Firth. And now it'll be brought back over center yet again. This time Jake Doolittle, who is going to stay on. Doolittle for Haley. We're down to under 3 minutes to go in this 1-goal game.
Yeah, getting pretty close now for Whitby. You really do want to absolutely take it to the end of the shot clock and prioritize the clock over the scoring chance.
Haley for Patras, the low shot. Pfeiffer trying to send it back towards the crease. And another offensive rebound here for Patras and the Whitby Warriors.
Yeah, a huge play there. Basically takes Beaches from 3 possible possessions to 2 here. They'll take this thing down to roughly 2 minutes left on the clock. Huge play by Patras, another one of those little ones that won't show up in the box score.
Here's Pfeiffer. He wants to shoot. He'll spin back. No room for anything to happen. Pfeiffer taken down. Desperately shoveled it back in the direction of Haley, but there was a Beaches player there as well. One of the Matthew Collison, who comes up with the ball, and he'll give to Willem Firth and get a change. Greg Palmer inside the 2-minute warning here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. Back up top for Jacob Hickey. For Firth, bouncing around the outside. Firth gets hauled down and now tried to pass, and then a stumble there from Owen Tapper. Opens the door here for Hickey. Needing a shot. It comes from Gaston, and Wright sits on top of the rebound.
Yeah, nice save by Wright there. I didn't think Beach was going to get anything good at the end of that. Gaston ends up with a great look.
Doolittle facing a double team. Excuse me, this is Lucas Littlejohn, pardon me. Halfway through the shot clock, and Whitby's perfectly okay with this right now, as they just need to figure out how to get through the final minute and 16. Littlejohn shot attempt ends up in the feet of Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre, and Will Johnson's going to beat him to the bench.
6-on-5 here for Beaches, going a little bit early. And electing to save their timeout too.
Both teams do have a timeout in the bag to use here in the final minute. Willem Firth down in the corner, feeding it back up top. Bit of a double clutch there from Anderson before the shot and the save. It'll go to Scott Reed. Scott Reed will play up for Darlison. No shot. Johnson late getting back on the floor. Darlison shoots and scores and possibly has iced an Ontario championship for Whitby.
When you're a little kid, you think about scoring the big goal, scoring the game-winning goal, or making the game-winning assist or the game-winning save. Scott Reed here makes as big of a play as you'll see in these Ontario championships. Gets in the shooting lane and just takes a shot right in the chest. That hurts. That really hurts. And it's not going to show up in the box score, but a huge play for Reed, making the tough one. Again, those little plays, that's what winning teams do. Winning play there by Reed, gets it up to Darlison, who buries it, and now Beaches not quite out of this thing yet. Never say never, but they got to score here quickly.
Scott Reed did not play in the semifinal series until game number 5. Comes up huge here as the Warriors will be awarded possession.
If you're Beaches, this thing's not over. You got to get out and try to play the ball. I mean, you can tell both teams are gassed here.
Under 10 seconds to go, the fans will let you know who the Ontario champions are going to be. 11-9 your final. It is indeed the Whitby Warriors.
Yeah, what a game, right? In a league that's been as competitive this year as we've ever seen it. Whitby's the last team standing, and that is what winning Ontario means. You're the last team standing. It's a war of attrition, and these guys fought through the challenges better than anybody else. Congratulations to Coach Williams and his staff. Really happy for them, and congratulations to this team for making it out of Ontario as the Ontario champions and getting their hands on that Iroquois trophy.
For the second time in their franchise history, the Toronto Beaches make it to the Iroquois Trophy Finals. Last time they did it, I believe, was 2002. Runners-up once again. Stay tuned as Pat Gregoire will have a couple interviews for you. The hardware is down on the floor along with Dean McLeod and Commissioner Mark Grimes. But first, the handshake line.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to Coach Riley O'Connor and his staff. They've been in Beaches building this program now for a few years. Since I've been in junior, they've been around that program. Great coaches, none of whom I believe, or at least a few of whom, didn't play in Beaches, but going to that program, building it up, and getting to the Ontario Finals and giving this really good Warriors team a real run for their money. And the Minto's anyone's game, right? You notice that celebration a little bit more muted than you'd see in another year. These guys know that the biggest trophy is down the line. I hope for Whitby's sake they realized the severity of what they did tonight. It's one of the hardest trophies, if not the hardest trophy to win in this sport, and they deserve to celebrate a huge, huge accomplishment tonight.
Well, don't tell these fans that this didn't really mean much. Of course, it does mean a lot to these players, as we heard Scott Reed say. Already the Minto Cup berth was clinched, but these players, this team, and their fans definitely wanted the hardware to go along with it. Congratulations to a great season for the Toronto Beaches and their graduates, Cameron Accioni, Matthew Accioni, Andrew Dalton, who did not play tonight, David Anderson, 4 points in this game, Taylor Dooley. What a game from Jackson Raposo and Alex Gaston. Of course, finishing their season tonight, but the Minto Cup still to come. August the 22nd to 29th. If you want to be there as well, head to themintocup.com, where you can get your tickets, including a $100 full tournament pass, which gets you every single game, including the finals. Mike Smith is the PA announcer. We'll have a word from him. Mark Grimes, commissioner, holding one of my favorite trophies in all sports, the Iroquois trophy for the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League champions.
Hello? Hello. Let's hear it for a hard-fought series between the Beaches and Whitby. Have the captain for the Beaches come up. See Deputy Commissioner Bob Clevey. We have the award for the MVP of the playoffs, and Dean McLeod, former commissioner, will be presenting the captain of Whitby, Adam Petraeus. Come up for Colleen.
Obviously, huge congratulations here to Adam Poitras. Kind of a flip of the coin with him and Haley. Just so dominant. Haley with a tremendous goal-scoring year. Poitras really an all-around player. Did everything for this team. A ton of leadership, and when they really needed goals, especially in that Orangeville series, it seemed like it was 51 coming up with big plays.
We saw some great lacrosse all season. The playoffs were second to none. Close games all the way through it, and we're off to the Minto next, but let's get Adam up here and accept the Iroquois trophy. Congratulations. Can you grab that?
Well, to touch or not to touch? And it looked like there it is. He's got a couple hands on it.
I wouldn't overthink this thing. They deserve it. They're the champs. And this is one of the great moments of Adam Poitras' career.
Well, and you can see how much it means to the rest of the guys. They forgot about superstitions and everything else. Like I said, one of the best looking trophies in all of sports for my money. So while the celebration goes on, I think Pat Gregoire has caught up with the commissioner of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, Mark Grimes.
Commissioner Grimes, I know just about a year ago we were in the bubble. It was a great success, but your first full season as commissioner, it seems like it almost was a dream season. Maybe because we're finally getting fans back in the stands all across the beautiful province, but what a great season we had.
Yeah, it was awesome. The rust is off these kids, and I'll tell you, as I mentioned in my speech, great lacrosse all the way through the season, close games, and as the season went on, it got closer and closer. The playoffs, everything was so tight going to Game 5s, and I'll tell you, we had a great series here to finish it off, and both these teams will be moving on to the Minto Cup, which we're pretty excited about. So we're a couple weeks away from that. We're going to see some exciting lacrosse. We'll see what happens out west, but we are eager to host that Minto and keep that the Minto Cup here in Ontario.
You mentioned that these two great teams will be here as well, but this is going to be one of the more highly anticipated Minto Cups we've seen, obviously with the COVID layoff, but again, some great teams. But what can fans expect at the CAA Centre for the Canadian National Championship?
Well, I think in the pro draft last year, I think 50% of the kids came from our league. So we got some great talent to showcase. And with your help, JVI, you know, people all across North America watching these games, and they see how the talent we have. And we're going to see some great lacrosse. And, you know, I think one of these teams we'll see in the finals for sure, and we'll hope to keep that trophy. But you're seeing some great lacrosse here tonight. And last night was a great game also. So look at that, you know, 2-goal, 3-goal game right at the end. But great to see, but we're excited about the Minto Cup.
We're excited as well. We will be there. Like you said, the 2-week layover, then we'll be at the CAA Centre. You can get your tickets now at themintocup.com. Mark Grimes, I want to thank you for joining, and thank you for an unbelievable season of Ontario Junior
Appreciate it.
Lacrosse.
Thanks very much.
Matt, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Pat, and thank you for your great work all season as well, and congratulations to Mark Grimes, Colleen Grimes, and the rest of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League as well. What a playoffs, and capped by an incredible game here at the end of the finals. I know it's a short series, but What a series, what playoffs. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I just can't overstate, how good it is to be back. This is what we love to do with our lives. We come to these arenas in the summer and we watch Ontario lacrosse. I think OLA Junior A is, the gold standard of Ontario lacrosse, and it's been so great to watch these guys play. And just credit to these kids on both sides for doing absolutely everything they could to win here.
Well, I think Pat's caught up with the MVP, Adam Patras.
Playoff MVP Adam Patra, an unbelievable series from yourself in this entire offense. A lot of guys that you've played here, in Whitby, in the minor organization. I know the job's not done is what you're going to say, but how special is it winning this Ontario championship in this building that you played so many games?
I played a lot of games with a lot of these guys, and we had a little growing pains at the start of the year. We had to find our identity, but Iroquois Padawan's a special place where magic happens, and there's no better place to win.
Brock Haley, a guy that, you have had some major chemistry on this offense. Can you just talk about how fun it is to play with a guy that can put up 74 goals in a single season?
Yeah, you don't hear it often. Someone scores 74 goals in 16 games wherever he played, but, it's easy to find him. He's always open, and every time he catches, he's ready to score, and sometimes finds the back of the net. That's what good goal scorers do.
Well, it looks like they're doing a picture. I'll let you get in there, and congratulations. We'll see you in the Minto.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it a lot.
Back up to you, Matt.
Thanks a lot, Pat. And we'll get more reaction from down on the floor once all the pictures are taken. Adam Patras finishes with the points lead in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League playoffs. 52 points in 9 games.
Yeah, just ridiculous. I believe we're getting our what we're seeing on the screen here for our fans is the Tyke A champion Whitby Warriors with the Junior A champion Whitby Warriors, which is A, a great example of what the festival is all about, and B, a good example of how a team like Whitby gets to where they are. These kids have been playing since they were the age of the little guys on the floor as a team. Credit to Coach Williams for doing a great job with this group as well.
I will bet you everything I got that's going to end up on social media later tonight, either at the OJLL or elsewhere. Well, we teased it as the O'Connor Cup and not the Iroquois Trophy. I think Pat has caught up with Greg O'Connor, who bested son Riley here tonight.
Thank you very much, Matt. They just said the winner of not just the Iroquois Trophy, but the O'Connor Cup, or the O'Connor Bowl as we've been calling it. Of course, obviously a special moment for your family, but you've won some championships with your son. Now you've got the bragging rights over him as well.
Yeah, it was a really special night for a special team. This year, the kids just worked hard from day one, and Willie and the staff really put the work in, and our guys did what was needed. We were resilient. We were down tonight after 2. We were up early. We were down after 2, and we came back. We got a great veteran group, and the guys love each other, and they play hard for each other. And, it's a good night to be a Warrior.
As I mentioned, you've been a part of these championship teams, so you know what it takes. But talking to Sean Williams, he said that even though this was the first time this team's been in this situation, they didn't care that they already punched in their ticket. Was that the message that, Ontario championships don't come all the time, and if we have an opportunity to do something special, we need to do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They'll go down as the 2022 Ontario champions, and that was something that once we beat out Orangeville last Friday, that was the number one thing on our list. And the guys worked hard and did what was necessary, and, we got what we were after.
Well, you have a couple. Sorry.
One more to go now.
One more go. And I know a lot of people are saying job's not done, but you do have 2 weeks off. Get to prepare. I'm sure the coaching staff will be watching a lot of film, but we'll see you back in the Minto. And again, congratulations on the Ontario Championship.
Thank you, and thank you to JVI for the great coverage, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
We'll see you then. Thank you. Matt, back up to you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pat. And we're getting a lot of shout-outs down here. I don't a good time to shout out everybody who's been weighing in. We have a little bit of time off, so we're going to let you know that on Friday night we'll be part of the Meredith Cup, game number 3 in Orangeville, our JVI crew. So you can follow that on the JVI YouTube channel, but before we focus our attention as well on the Minto Cup. Again, a couple-week break, and this is going to be interesting because it does allow them a bit of time to celebrate, but then back down to business.
Yeah, 100%. And cool moments happening on the floor right now. it takes a village to get these guys where they're at, right? It takes a lot of long days, long hours from parents, financial commitments from parents, and it's cool to see families get to celebrate this together. Ontario Lacrosse is a family game, and it's cool to see guys get to celebrate with their folks.
And it is, let's just reiterate, Whitby and the Beaches also going to the Minto Cup. But as Greg O'Connor said, this is forever. They will be the 2022 Ontario champions. And another member of those is with Pat Gregoire now.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm with Brock Haley of the Whitby Warriors. Brock, I know you guys already punched your ticket the other night to the Minto, but it was very clear that you guys were motivated to get something done here that this Whitby team hasn't done in a while. How much more special is it that you've done it here on home floor?
I mean, it just makes it so much more special, winning here, earning our right to get to the Minto and hopefully bring that home too.
A historic year for yourself, 74 goals. Not many players in Ontario Junior Lacrosse history can say that. How special of a season was it for you?
It was awesome.
Could you
It was
ask him if,
quite the experience.
who he dedicates it to?
Can't
who
say it
helped
was
him get
all
here
on
and
me.
stuff?
I had help
Like his
with
parents
all the
and that
guys
stuff?
on offense, setting great picks, moving the ball real well, and it was just a great season overall, and I'm really happy with it.
The benefit of winning this at home and obviously having a lot of family and friends here. Anyone you dedicate this Ontario championship to?
I'm going to go my grandma and my papa, who both recently passed away, dedicating this to them.
That's awesome. Now, as we mentioned, and a lot of guys are saying job's not done. How do you keep focus? I know you're a little bit busy over the next couple of weeks. How do you balance that? Obviously, a huge task with the World Championships, but also, as well, a Minto Cup just in a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the boys just keep the Minto in mind, keep our sticks in the hands, not get lazy, not get out of shape, we'll be just fine rolling into the Minto.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, again, congratulations on the outstanding season and the championship. We'll see you in a couple of weeks at the Minto.
Thank you.
Matt, back up to you.
All right, Pat, thanks so much to you, to Brock Haley, to all the Whitby Warriors who gave us interviews tonight. Final thought I'll give to you, Jonathan Donville.
Yeah, I'll jump on the train of giving people some shout-outs. Thank you to Colleen Grimes for letting me be a part of this, and to Gary and Maddie, thanks for everything this summer, man. It's been we're not done yet. We'll be at the Minto and a few other things, but this might have been my first time trying my hand at this stuff, and it's been great. And biggest thank you goes out to the people who have followed along. I think it's been really cool to see the support we've had online all playoff long, and obviously still looking forward to the Minto. But couldn't say enough thank you to those people for listening in and giving us feedback and joking around with us and helping make this as much fun as it is.
Yeah, so I'll reiterate one more time to Mark Grimes and Colleen for their leadership of the league and over us as well here at the JVI Sports Network. For Pat Gregoire, for, of course, his incredible commentary that he adds. You've added so much to the broadcast. I know you said it's your first time doing it, but you jumped right in and didn't sound out of place at all. Great work from you. Thanks for joining us and being amazing. Rachel Wolf was one of our directors, as was Chris Main. And our thanks to them, the JVI Sports Network, which is led by Gary Morrison, our producer this evening. Once again, we'll be live on the JVI Sports Network page on Friday night with the Meredith Cup. But then after that, the next time you'll hear from us will be the Minto, August the 22nd to 29th. TheMintoCup.com is where you can get more information, including your ticket packages. $100 gets you access to everything at the Minto Cup, including every game of the finals. More information will be coming on the rest of the events surrounding that, including streaming. Be sure to follow OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com and at the OJLL. On behalf of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League and the JVI Sports Network, I'm Matthew Carrick. Thank you for tuning in. The Whitby Warriors are your 2022 Ontario champions.